All right, guys, I'm going to give you all some bold predictions, some things that are relevant to Dynasty fantasy football. Obviously, I'm not going to cover anything outside of the positions in Dynasty fantasy football because those are really the only positions I could look at. I could maybe name you 2 offensive linemen in this entire draft class and maybe 5 defensive players in this entire draft class, but I can guarantee you I could name you 30 wide receivers and 20 running backs. So we're going to get into it. Those are going to be the positions I focus on. I'm going to cover some quarterback, some tight end, and really some bold predictions and things that are not likely to happen, but nobody's talking about them happening, and I believe that they can. I'm sorry, not all my takes are like that. A couple of my takes are, I'm sure this is going to happen, and y'all don't believe it, but just watch. But anyway, we're going back to 2 videos a day, so please, need y'all to like the video. I know y'all are tired of hearing me say it, but I need to say it. I need y'all to like the video if we want to keep doing 2 videos a day, because YouTube and their algorithm is not going to want to promote the videos unless they're getting likes or unless I'm doing 1 a day. And I don't want to do 1 a day. We have so many people supporting the show on Patreon that I feel like I owe y'all 2 a day, and I'm going to sit here, make videos all day, continue to do it until this quarantine's over. But let's get into the bold predictions. Starting us off, I'm going to say 3 wide receivers go in the top 15 of the NFL draft for the first time since, I believe, 2017. In 2017, we actually saw 3 players go in the top 10, 3 wide receivers go in the top 10 in the NFL draft: John Ross, Mike Williams, and Corey Davis. But here, I think we see a similar thing. Top 15, I'm not confident to say enough in top 10 just because of the positional needs if you look at the teams drafting in that range. But Henry Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy are all going to go in the first half of the first round, and it's going to be exciting. All 3 of these players are electric. All 3 of these players are extremely talented, and I'm excited to see what they can do in the NFL. Now, let's move on to the second bold take, and this take isn't that bold. The first take wasn't that bold either. We'll get into the bolder ones in a little bit, but Justin Herbert is going to be drafted before Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, Tua is the player with the higher ceiling. Tua is the player that is more talented. But if you don't know, NFL teams right now can't bring in players to see their team doctors. And if you are a NFL executive, if you are an NFL general manager, you're spending your top 10 draft pick, something that's going to define your career. Are you really going to be that confident in pressing the button on Tua? Are you really going to say, this is the guy, best available, we need him? I don't care that he had a serious injury. I don't care that we can't evaluate him in our own facility. I am confident enough in his ability. I'm confident enough in what his doctors are telling us to invest. It's essentially I can't even put a financial number on how much that decision is worth, but long story short is you need some confidence. You need some balls if you're going to make that decision. And I don't think that the NFL executives and the NFL general managers are going to do that. I think that they're going to look at Justin Herbert and say, hey, he's a good quarterback. I believe that we can develop him into a great NFL quarterback that's going to be top 15. We can win some playoff games with him. And I don't really see that much downside with him. And these NFL GMs that are having to make decisions to keep their jobs, that are getting paid millions of dollars a year, and they don't want to lose their job, they're going to take Justin Herbert. They're not going to be willing to take Tua, because if you take Tua in the top 5 and then he comes out and he can't play for a year, and then year 2 he ends up getting injured 3 weeks in, I'm telling you right now, you're fired. That's how the NFL works. So Justin Herbert goes before Tua. Justin Herbert is the second quarterback taken off the board. And sticking at the quarterback position, this is a take that I know we were seeing a lot of earlier this offseason. People have kind of faded it, and people are moving him down their boards. But Jordan Love will go top 15 of the NFL draft. He will go in the first half, and I think that he's going to go in that range from a team trading up. I think the New Orleans Saints or the New England Patriots are going to be forced to trade up to take Jordan Love. I don't think Jordan Love starts right away. I think maybe he's a guy that we see kind of like a Drew Lock that goes in and is starting the second half of the season. But I'm confident in saying that Jordan Love obviously will not make it past the first round. I'll bet any amount of money that Jordan Love's selected in the first round. And I'm confident in saying that he goes top 15, the top half, top 16, top half, but whatever. He goes top half of the NFL draft. Now, a take that I'm going to have that y'all aren't going to like is I predict Deandre Swift goes 15 picks or more before Jonathan Taylor. These next couple takes I'm going to have are focused around Jonathan Taylor going later in the NFL draft than the Dynasty community wants to believe. But I'm telling you right now, NFL teams are going to look at these running backs and they're going to look at their pass catching ability and see the importance of that in the NFL, the modern day game, and realize, hey, we need to go out there and get one of these running backs that can catch passes. I'm not confident that Jonathan Taylor can do that with how many drops he had in Wisconsin, with how he had only one season of a decent reception number on his resume. And if you look at those receptions, none of them were scripted. They were all last-minute dump-offs. I mean, he really is not a threat in the receiving game. And there's only one Derrick Henry in the NFL. I know some people are saying, oh, he's Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, he's Nick Chubb. Oh, okay, I'm telling you right now. Nick Chubb and Ezekiel Elliott they're both better pass catchers than Jonathan Taylor. I think the NFL knows that. The NFL does not take him until mid-round 2. I could see Deandre Swift going late round 1 or very early round 2. Now, let's move to my next running back take. Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes within 10 picks of Jonathan Taylor. I think that the gap that the NFL sees between these two running backs is a lot closer than the Dynasty community does. I'm not saying that Jonathan Taylor is not going to be a significantly better asset than Clyde Edwards-Helaire in Dynasty. I'm not saying that by any means. Clyde Edwards-Helaire could end up being a complete bust, and Jonathan Taylor could be the next Nick Chubb. But I'm talking strictly NFL draft capital. These are strict NFL predictions. And I predict that the NFL is a lot higher on Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a lot lower on Jonathan Taylor than the Dynasty community is. Next, my prediction is Cam Akers is the 5th running back off the board. I know a lot of people think that he is the RB3 or RB4 in this draft class. I am very confident in saying that I can't see him going ahead of Deandre Swift. That will never happen. He's not going to go ahead of Jonathan Taylor, not going to go ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not going to go ahead of J.K. Dobbins. I think the only chance he has is to go ahead of J.K. Dobbins, but I confidently see him as being the running back 5 off the board. Now, let's go back to the the quarterback position, and a guy that's been getting a ton of hype in Dynasty lately for great reasons too, because if he does get a starting job in Superflex leagues, in one quarterback leagues, he's going to be in your starting lineup, and this is Jalen Hertz. But the problem with Jalen Hertz is, yes, if he is a starting quarterback for an NFL franchise, he's going to be scoring a ton of fantasy points because what he can do with his legs. Trust me. I saw Jalen Hertz play live this year. I saw him against the Texas Longhorns, and y'all know his Heisman moment, putting the ball behind his back, just completely avoiding the sack. I mean, he is special, but I think he was a special college quarterback. I don't think he necessarily transitions to the NFL when it comes to the passing game, and I think that the NFL owners and the NFL executives know that, and they're not going to be willing to push the button on him anywhere inside the top 50. Now, let's go to the tight end position. I've been seeing a couple mock drafts, not a lot, have Cole Kmet as a first-round pick, either going to the Packers or the Patriots. Obviously, everyone always has the Patriots taking a tight end early every single year, just because that's what mock drafters like to do, because that's what gets clicks. But nonetheless, I don't think any tight end in this draft class goes within the top 40. This is completely different than last offseason, where we saw Noah Fant and T.J. Hawkinson go round 1. I believe Irv Smith went top 40. I don't know exactly where he went in the second round, but I know it was early. And yeah, I don't think that we have any standout talent at the tight end position this year. Obviously, I'm not an expert when it comes to blocking evaluations, so I could be wrong, and we could be looking at a situation where the Bengals take a team takes another blocking tight end like the Bengals did with, I believe Drew Sample was his name, where they took him at the very beginning of the second round, and he's essentially just another offensive tackle. But outside of that, I don't think that any of these tight ends really stand out. None of them go in the top 40, and I believe that the only tight end that was invited to the virtual green room was, what's his name? Randy Moss's either cousin, son, nephew, whatever he was, the guy who played for LSU. But he was the only one invited. He was just invited out of respect for Randy Moss, and none of these tight ends go in the top 40 picks on the NFL draft. Now, my last take is, I know a player that is super polarizing in the Dynasty community. I don't think he's going to be polarizing at the NFL level because I think that he's going to be able to immediately help an NFL offense with his speed, and that's Henry Ruggs. I know Henry Ruggs is consensus top, say, 8 wide receiver in Dynasty rankings, and a lot of people have him as their wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6, which is completely fair to do for Dynasty. But I'm telling you right now, if you think that's going to translate to the NFL draft, that's not going to be the case. I think that Henry Ruggs is at least the wide receiver 2 off the board, and I'm confident in saying that he's going to go ahead of at least one of CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. But thanks so much, guys. Hope y'all enjoy the video, and I hope y'all are going to go down in the comments. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Don't just tell me I'm an idiot. I want to know the explanation behind it. And also, leave a comment with whatever hot take you have for this NFL draft. Really excited to watch it. Really excited to be chatting with y'all in the Discord chat as we watch it. But thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.